Okay, hello everyone. I believe we are now live. Hello, hello. I'll wait just one moment and let some people join in. If you can hear me and see me very clearly, please type in the chat where you're watching from today. Give just a minute and let all of our watchers join in. Hello. Hello, everyone. Good. I see some yeses, so that means you can hear me and see me. Perfect. All right. So how is everyone today? I hope everyone's doing well, having a great Sunday. For some of you, maybe it's almost a Monday. For me, I'm just starting my Sunday morning. It's 9 o'clock in the morning for me. Hope you all are doing well. If you can do me a favor, those of you who are just now joining, give me a hello and tell me where you're from in the chat. What country are you watching from this morning or this afternoon or night? All right, I see. Hello, Saudi Arabia, India, Tokyo, Japan, Pakistan, Kosovo, Tanzania. Someone's watching from Pittsburgh in the United States, Moldova, Vietnam, Germany, Ethiopia, Somalia, Turkey, Italy. Perfect. So we have viewers from all over the world today. Awesome. Okay, well, we're gonna get started here. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is for you. First, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Molly. I am a tutor on Cambly. Currently, I am living in the country of Ecuador. Not sure if any of my viewers today are from Ecuador, but I live in a small country called Ecuador in South America. However, I am from the United States, from the state of Tennessee. I want to say thank you all so much for joining today's live lesson. Today's topic is going to be present tenses. So today we're going to cover all 4 present tenses. So it's going to be a little fast with lots of information. And I'd like to remind you that once today's live lesson is finished, you can access it again on Cambly's YouTube channel, okay? And then you can watch it again in case you missed something or in case you joined in a little late. So no worries on that. You will be able to go back and watch this video again. Okay, so thank you again, everyone, for joining today. We are going to get started, okay? So present tenses, as you know, there are 4 present tenses. We have present simple, present continuous, or present progressive. There's 2 words for that. Present perfect and present perfect continuous, okay? So these are our 4 present tenses that we will be covering in today's lesson. Now, because of time, there is some information that we won't have time to cover. However, we're going to focus just on the general, most important parts of each tense, okay? Remember, if you have any questions at any time during the lesson, you can type those in the chat, and I will be taking some breaks to go over some questions today. Okay, so is everyone ready to get started? Are we ready? All right, so today we're going to start with present simple, okay? This is typically, if you have been learning English, this is one of the first things you learn is our present simple tense, okay? So there's a few reasons we use present simple tense. We use it to talk about habitual or routine actions. For example, I go to the gym every day. Okay, this is a routine or a habitual action. I don't actually go to the gym every day, but this is just an example. We also use it to talk about permanent situations, facts, or truths. So for example, I speak English. This is a general fact, okay? Or I live in Ecuador. Right now, this is also a general truth about me. We also use present simple to give directions and instructions. For example, a teacher may say, please open your textbook. This is using present simple. And we also use it in newspaper headlines, which isn't so common for us in day-to-day conversation. But most newspaper headlines will be using present simple. So how do we form a present simple sentence or question? Okay, so let's look at the affirmative first. In order to form an affirmative present simple sentence, we're going to start with our subject. That comes first. Then we're just going to have our base verb plus S or ES for regular verbs, okay? And we are going to cover this rule in just one moment. There's some specific rules we have when adding S or ES to the base verbs in third person singular. So in just a moment, we'll go over that rule. Now, when we want to make a present simple sentence negative, we have our subject first. Then we're going to use the auxiliary verb do, okay? Now, depending on our subject, it's going to be either do or does. So I do, you do, we do, they do, and then for does, it's going to be he does, she does, and it does, okay? Plus the word not, because it is a negative sentence. And then we're going to have our base verb, okay? So subject plus do or does, plus not, plus our base verb. For example, I do not or don't go to the gym every day. Okay, this is an example of a negative present simple sentence. And lastly, our question. So in order to form a present simple question, we're going to start with do or does, depending on what our subject is. Do or does, plus our subject, plus our base verb, okay? So for example, do you like coffee? I almost switched it around a little bit. Do you like coffee? Okay, so I have do, my subject is you, and my base verb is like. Do you like coffee? I love coffee. Okay, so this is how we form all of our present simple, affirmative sentence, negative sentence, and a question, okay? Now, I would like to touch on some rules we have when we are changing our base verb, okay? So, in most cases, we are just going to be adding an S. However, there are other times when we have to make some changes, okay? So I like to start with this rule. So if we have a verb that ends in any of these, O, S, Z, X, CH, or SH, we're going to add an ES, okay? So not just an S, but an ES. For example, the verb fix becomes fixes with an ES, okay? And the verb catch becomes catches with an ES. So anytime a verb ends in one of these, it's going to get an ES instead of just an S. So that's one rule. Also, if we have a verb that ends in Y, ends a consonant and then Y, we are going to change the Y to I, the letter I, and then we're going to add ES, okay? So anytime our verb has a consonant and then the letter Y, we're going to change that Y to the letter I and add ES. For example, the verb try, so R is our consonant followed by the letter Y. So in this case, we have to change the Y to I and then add ES. So try, tries. The same with the verb cry. Cry, we're going to change that Y to I and add ES. It becomes cries, okay? And our last rule when we're talking about changing verbs in present simple. In negative and question form, the main verb doesn't need an S, okay? So most of the time in present simple, we're adding an S or an ES only in third person singular. When I say third person singular, I mean he, she, and it, okay? So he eats pizza. She walks to the park, right? You hear that we're adding that S, okay? However, in negative and question form, the main verb doesn't get an S, okay? So we don't say she doesn't works. We don't need that S. We just say she doesn't work. Okay, this is a very important rule, and it's very common to get confused with this. So with more practice, of course, you're going to remember, okay, negative form and question form, I don't add that S. Okay, when we're asking a question, does he work? It's not does he works, it's does he work. Okay, all right. So these are some very important rules when we're talking about changing the verbs in present simple. All right, remember if you have questions, once I finish going over present continuous, I will answer some of those questions, okay? So we'll do a quick review of present simple and present continuous. All right, so let's look at some example sentences of present simple. Okay, my first one is, she wakes up at 7 a.m. each day, okay? This is third person singular, right? My subject is she, so we add an S to our verb. She wakes up at 7 a.m. each day, and this is a routine, right? Every day she wakes up at 7 a.m. Okay. Another example we have, they don't speak Spanish. Okay, this is a negative example. Our subject is they. To make it negative, remember we use the auxiliary verb do and not. So here I made a contraction. Instead of do not, I made it don't. They don't speak Spanish. Okay, let's look at, oh, that's all of our examples. Okay, so this is present simple. Again, in just a few minutes, we'll do a quick review. So if you have any questions, I'll be asking that in just a moment, okay? Okay, so this is our present simple. Now we're going to move on to our present continuous. Our present continuous, okay? So present continuous, we're going to use to talk about an action that's in progress in the moment of speaking, at this time of speaking. So for example, right now, I am teaching about present tenses, okay? It's happening in this moment. We also use present continuous to talk about a temporary action that isn't in progress necessarily at the time of speaking, but in that time period, okay? So maybe I could say, this year, I'm learning Spanish. This year, I'm learning Spanish. Not in this exact moment right now, but in this moment of time. It's a temporary action. We also use present continuous to emphasize frequent actions. Many times we're going to use the word always. So for example, my mother is always talking on her phone. My mother is always talking on her phone. It means this is a very frequent action. She's doing it a lot. Okay. And we're also going to use present continuous to describe a developing situation. So I could say, the weather is turning cold. The weather is turning cold, right? The situation is developing. It's changing into a new season. Okay, so these are the reasons why we use present continuous. And one important note that I didn't write up here is present continuous can also be used to talk about future arrangements, okay? So I know in our future lesson that I gave a month or so ago, some people were asking about using present continuous for future. And we do use present continuous to talk about future arrangements. So for example, if I ask you, what are you doing tonight? What are you doing tonight? This is present continuous, but tonight's in the future. And maybe you respond, I'm going to dinner with my family. I am going to dinner with my family. That's your future plan, but we're using present continuous. Okay, so how do we form a present continuous in the affirmative, the negative, and the question? So in affirmative, we're going to have our subject. Then we're going to have our auxiliary verb be. Now remember, be is an irregular verb that you have to change depending on the subject. So I am, you are, he, she, and it is, they are, and we are. Okay, so our auxiliary verb be plus the verb ending in ing. For example, I am teaching present tenses. I am teaching present tenses. You are learning about present tenses. This is an example of an affirmative present continuous sentence. Now for negative, we're going to begin with our subjects. Then we're going to have our auxiliary verb be again. However, in negative, we're going to add the word not, okay? And then our verb plus ing. For example, I'm not teaching future tenses. I'm not teaching future tenses. And for our question, when we're asking a question in present continuous, we are going to start the question with our auxiliary verb be. So am, are, is, okay? Sometimes in a question, we can begin it with who, how, why, or what, okay? Then we have our subject and then our verb plus ing. So are you learning about present tenses? Are you learning about present tenses? That is an example of a question. Okay, let's look at some examples of our present continuous. Okay, our first example is you are learning about present tenses. I already used this one. You are learning about present tenses. I'm reading a good book at the moment. I'm reading a good book at the moment. Now remember, you can use contractions. So I am becomes I'm. Okay, let's do a practice. So now we're going to do a practice of present simple and present continuous, okay? So I'm going to show you a sentence with a verb, and you decide if we should use the present simple or the present continuous, okay? Are you ready? Now, while we're going over these practice questions or practice sentences, if you have some questions about something with present simple or present continuous, you can start typing them in the chat, okay? And I'll be looking for any questions. All right, so let's do our first practice. Okay. So every Saturday, he blank, our verb is go, to the beach. Okay, so are we going to use present simple or present continuous? Type it in the chat, and you can go ahead and type the verb the way that you're supposed to change it in the chat. Every Saturday, he blank to the beach. Okay, perfect. I see some correct answers coming through. So our answer should be present tense goes. Present tense goes. Every Saturday he goes to the beach. Okay. Why is it present simple? Because this is a routine action. So we say every Saturday means it's habitual. Every Saturday he goes to the beach. Okay, very good. Okay, let's look at another example. I blank an English teacher. Our verb is be. I blank an English teacher. Our verb is be. Okay, so are we going to use present simple or present continuous for this? I'll give you just a moment to answer in the chat. Okay, good, wonderful. I see lots of correct answers. I am, okay? I am an English teacher. Very good. This is a general truth. So we use present simple and the verb be becomes am. Wonderful. Okay, so let's just do 2 more examples. They don't want to go outside because it blank. Our verb is rain. They don't want to go outside because it blank. So we're going to use present simple or present continuous on this one. And how do we change the verb rain? I'll give you just 1 moment to type your answers. Wonderful. I see lots of correct answers. Okay, so in this case, we're going to use present continuous. So it should be is raining, is raining. Remember, in present continuous, we have to use our auxiliary verb be, okay? And we're going to change be to is in this sentence, plus our verb with ing. So our verb is rain, we have to add an ing, okay? So our sentence is, they don't want to go outside today because it is raining, right? This means in this moment, right now, the action is in progress. It is raining in this moment. Very good. Wonderful. Okay. I have 1 more example. 1 more. Water, blank, at 100 degrees Celsius. Our verb is boil. Water, blank, at 100 degrees Celsius. Is this going to be present simple or present continuous? And how do I change my verb? Very good. I see many, many correct answers. So this is a general fact. This is a fact, so we're going to use present simple. So the correct answer is boils. Boils. Water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. Remember, in the affirmative, we have our base verb boil, and we're adding an S because of our subject. The subject is 3rd person singular. It's it, right? It boils. Very good. Okay, so I'm going to get set up to continue with present perfect and present perfect continuous. While I do that, if you have any questions at all about present simple or present continuous before we continue, please type them in the chat for me, okay? Okay, if you have any questions about present simple or present continuous, please type them in the chat. I'll take just a moment. Okay. Okay, great question. How can I use both the negative and asking a question, right? In which form? And present continuous, okay? So all we're going to do, let's say we're asking a question, but it's a negative question. We're just going to add the word not, okay? For example, are you not going to the party later? So the word not is going to come before our verb with ing. Are you not going to the party later? That's how we ask a question that's negative, okay? Is she not coming to work today? Is she not coming to work today? That is a great question. Someone asks if I have a cold today. Yes, I'm a little sick today. Thank you for asking. I'm taking some medicine. Okay. All right, I'm going to continue on. If you asked a question that didn't get answered, we'll have another time later to go over a few questions at the end of the lesson, okay? But because of our time, I'm going to move on very quickly to our present perfect tense. So present perfect, we are going to use with finished actions that happened at an indefinite time. Indefinite means it's not a specific time, okay? So for example, I have studied Spanish. I have studied Spanish. I'm not giving you a specific time, okay? We also use it to talk about something that began in the past, it started in the past, and it's still true today, okay? Right now, it's still true. Or we use it to talk about describing past actions with present results. So something that started in the past or happened in the past, and the results are present now. Okay, so let's talk about how we form present perfect sentences. It's a little different, all right? In our affirmative, when we just want to put an affirmative sentence, we're going to start with the subject, like always. Then we're going to use our auxiliary verb have, okay? So have or has, depending on the subject. I have, you have, we have, they have. And if we use the third person singular, he, she, or it's has. She has, he has, or it has. Then we're going to use the past participle of the verb, the past participle. So past participle is something that takes a bit of studying. With regular verbs, in order to make a past participle, all you do is add ed, okay? For example, I have walked my dogs today. I have walked my dogs today. However, if we have an irregular verb, we're not going to add ed. There's some special irregular verbs that get different changes. So for example, be is an irregular verb. I have been. Okay, write is an irregular verb. I have written. Okay, and this is something that you'll have to study in your own time on the past participle of verbs and the irregular, how we change the irregular verbs. Okay, and then for our negative sentence, we're going to begin with our subject plus have or has and the word not to make it negative plus the past participle. So the only difference is adding the word not, okay? I have not studied French before. I haven't studied French before. Remember, have not or has not, you can make into a contraction. Haven't or hasn't. And to ask a question, we're going to begin with our auxiliary verb have. So have or has, depending on our subject. Then we have our subject, and then our past participle. For example, have you learned present tenses before? Have you studied present perfect before? Okay. So if you didn't notice, I used some special words when I was giving some examples, like for, before, since, okay? So there are many special words we're going to use in present perfect. So I'm going to give you just a few of them today. Many times during present perfect, you're going to hear the words for or since, okay? For is to talk about periods of time. So for 2 weeks. She has studied English for 2 weeks. It's the duration of time, okay? He has lived in Spain for 5 years. We also use the word since when we talk about present perfect. This is points of time. So a specific point of time that the action started. I have lived in Ecuador since 2017. That's just one point in time. I have studied English since last year. It's a specific point in time, okay? And two more words that we often see. There's actually many words we often see with present perfects, but we don't have time to talk about all of them. So I'm going to give you the most common today. Already and yet are also very common. Okay, so already just means before now, before this moment. For example, the train has already left. Okay, this is a present perfect sentence using already. The train has already left. Have you already eaten? And yet means at any time up to now. At any time up to now. So if I ask you, have you already eaten? You would respond, I have not eaten yet. I haven't eaten yet. It means that any time up to now, you haven't eaten. Okay, these are also two very common words we're going to use in present perfect. All right, so let's look at some examples of present perfect sentences. Our first example is, I have traveled to Spain before. I have, we have our auxiliary verb have, traveled. So traveled is a regular verb, so we just add ed to make it the past participle. I have traveled. He hasn't graduated from the university yet. This is a negative example. He has not, the contraction to hasn't. He hasn't graduated from the university yet, right? So up until now, he has not graduated. Graduate is a regular verb, so I just add ed. Okay, let's look at one more example. Ooh, that's my last example. The next example is present perfect continuous. Sorry. You are going to be very confused, I think. Okay, so this is present perfect, right? So we use it to talk about actions that happened at an indefinite time, actions that began in the past and are still true or happening now, and also actions that happened in the past and have present results, okay? So now, because of time, we're going to move on to present perfect continuous, and I'll get to your questions after we finish talking about this, okay? So present perfect continuous we use to talk about or to describe an ongoing activity and the length of time that it has continued, okay? Or we use it to describe a recently finished, uninterrupted activity which has a present result. Something important to note is that many times present perfect and present perfect continuous can both be used interchangeably, okay? Many times they can be used the same exact way. And I'll go over some examples in just a moment of that. So how do we form a present perfect continuous sentence? In the affirmative, we start with our subject like always. Then we're going to use our auxiliary verb, have, so have or has, depending on the subject. Then we're going to use the past participle of be, which is been, okay? Been, plus our verb ending in ing. For example, I have been studying English for 2 years. I have been studying English for 2 years. Remember when I said present perfect can also be used? We could say, I have studied English for 2 years, or I have been studying English for 2 years. And both of these are correct. Now to make a negative present perfect continuous, we're going to start with our subject, our auxiliary verb have or has, and then we're just going to add in the word not. So not been plus our verb ending in ing, okay? I haven't been sleeping well. I haven't been sleeping well, okay? And for a question, in our question, we're going to begin with our auxiliary verb, have or has, plus our subject, plus been, and then the verb ending in ing. So for example, have you been learning English lately? Have you been learning English lately? Okay, let's look at some examples very quickly. So here's an example of present perfect continuous. Have you been working extra hours this week? This is a question. Remember, we start with the auxiliary verb have. Have you been working extra hours this week? Another example. She hasn't been returning any of my calls. She hasn't been returning any of my calls. Okay, let's look at one more example. I have been studying Spanish for 4 years. Now here you see the word for, right? For 4 years. I have been studying Spanish for 4 years. So for, since, yet, and already are also used in present perfect continuous. And our last example. She's hungry because she has been dieting recently. She's hungry because she's been dieting recently. So we can also make a contraction. Okay? All right, these are our examples for present perfect continuous. Okay, now let's practice really quickly between present perfect and present perfect continuous, and then I'll take your questions before we wrap up the end of the lesson, okay? So, I would like for you to read this sentence and tell me if it should be present perfect or present perfect continuous, okay? Type it in the chat. I blank this laptop for 3 years. Okay, my verb is use. My verb is use. So, are we going to use present perfect or present perfect continuous? I'll give you just a moment to type your answers in the chat. I see lots of different answers coming in. Okay, so remember when I told you sometimes present perfect and present perfect continuous can both be used. In this case, both answers are correct. So if you said have used, it's correct. And if you said have been using, it's also correct, okay? So you can say, I have used this laptop for 3 years, or I have been using this laptop for 3 years. Both of them are correct. They both make sense. Very good. Okay. So if you have questions, please type them in the chat now. While you're typing your questions, I'm going to do a quick review of everything, okay? So present simple, we're going to use to talk about facts, general facts, and habits or routines, okay? In third person singular, the verb gets an S or an ES if it's a regular verb. Our present continuous we use to talk about ongoing activities, something happening right now, and also future arrangements. We use the auxiliary verb be plus our verb ending in ing, okay? I am talking. You are writing questions. And our present perfect, we use have and has plus the past participle. Many times present perfect is just used to connect the past with the present, okay? And our present perfect continuous, we're going to use the auxiliary verb have or has plus been plus our verb ending in ing, okay? So I have been teaching present tenses this whole time. Okay, I'm going to take just a moment. We have one more thing we're going to do before we end. So I will try to take some of these questions. Okay, someone is also asking the negative question. Again, you just put not, okay? So for example, in present perfect continuous, a negative question, I could say, have you not been studying for English? Or have you not been studying English? Have you not been studying English? So we just add the word not to make it negative. Okay. I see some of you, if you're wanting to book a class with me, after this lesson is over, in the description, you can find a link and go over my schedule. The difference between have and has, it depends on the subject, okay? So our auxiliary verb have, with our subjects I, you, we, and they, it's going to be have. But if our subject is he, she, or it, it's going to be has. Okay, so there's not a difference. Have and has have the same meaning. It's a verb, but the change comes depending on our subject. Hopefully that answers your question. Someone asks, why are there types of tenses? That is a great question. I think that is one of the biggest questions in all languages. Why are there so many types of tenses? Okay, so really quickly while we wrap up, I know we're almost out of time. I want to do a quick practice, a quick interactive practice. So I have just 3 sentences here, 4 sentences, and the sentences I'm going to show you are incorrect, okay? There are errors or mistakes in the sentence, and these sentences should be in present simple, present continuous, present perfect, or present perfect continuous. So I'd like you to read the sentence and then correct it in the chat, okay? So you are going to make the corrections. So find the mistake in the sentence and correct it in the chat. I'll give you just a moment. Okay. So this is an incorrect sentence, and I'd like for you to write the correct form of this sentence in the chat. Very good. Wonderful. So this is a present simple sentence. She doesn't drink a lot of coffee. She doesn't drink. So remember, in our negative form of present simple, the verb does not get an S. We do not add an S. She doesn't drink a lot of coffee. Very good. Okay, next one. This one is incorrect, so tell me the mistake. We have a meeting right now. We have a meeting right now. What is the mistake in this sentence? How do you fix this sentence? I'll give you just a moment to type your answers. Okay, very good. It should be, so this is a present continuous sentence. We are having a meeting right now. We are having a meeting right now. Very good. This is present continuous. Wonderful. Okay, just 2 more before we say goodbye. We have been learned English since 2 years. So maybe this one has more than 1 mistake. This one might have more than 1 mistake. We have been learned English since 2 years. I'll give you just a moment. Correct this sentence and type it in the chat. Give you just a moment. Remember, there could be more than 1 mistake, so there might be more than 1 thing you need to correct. Ah, very good. I see a few people getting it correct. Okay, so the correct version of the sentence is, we have been learning, it's present perfect continuous, we have been learning English for 2 years. So remember, when we're talking about a duration of time, we use for, not since. Since is a specific point in time. If this said 2 years ago, maybe we have been learning English. No, that wouldn't work. It needs to be for. It can't be since. We have been learning English since 2012. Okay, that's a specific point in time. But when we have a duration, it needs to be for. So we have been learning English for 2 years. Very good. Okay, that is it for today. Wonderful job. I know that this was a lot of information. So again, I just want to remind you, anyone who joined in late, or maybe you were confused or you didn't understand, You can go back to Cambly's YouTube channel once this lesson ends and you can watch it again. You can watch it as many times as you want. You can pause it, you can rewind it, okay? And if I didn't answer a question you have in today's lesson, if you are a Cambly student, have that question prepared for your Cambly tutor, and I'm sure they'll be happy to help you with that, okay? Anyone who is not a Cambly student, really quickly, I just want to tell you, Cambly is a great English learning platform that you can work with a native speaker one-on-one, okay, any time of the day, any time that fits into your schedule. So if you're not a Cambly student, today I have a special promo code for you to use, okay? Our special promo code is the word continuous. So if you're looking to try out Cambly, you can use this promo code continuous to get up to 26% off of annual plans, okay? Up to 26% off of all annual plans. Okay, this promo code will also be in the description once this class is over. So if you forget what it is, you can just go back to the description box below the video. And this is it for today. I want to say thank you so much to everyone who joined our live lesson. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to learn about present tenses. I hope everyone stays safe and healthy and have a wonderful week. Goodbye.